welcome to D4Drupal channel. Today we are going to see about difference between migration lookup, entity generate and entity lookup. Okay, so first is migration lookup, and next entity generate, and next is entity lookup. Okay, so migration lookup means so we can use all these plugins to create an entity reference field. Okay, so migration lookup means it will look into another migration. Okay, and entity generate means we'll create entity on the fly. Entity lookup means it will look into existing entities. Okay, so these are the three plugins which is available to migrate your entity reference field. Okay, so let's do one by one. So first, for that, what you have to do, and the migration lookup is coming from core. So for this, you don't need any dependent module. It's coming from core. And these two, the entity generate and the entity lookup is coming from the module called Migrate Plus. Okay. So you need to enable this module to work with these plugins. Okay. So let me enable this module in my instance. So I'm going to move to my folder and going to install Migrate Plus. Okay. Composer require Drupal / Migrate Plus. Okay. So let's download that module. Let me go to the extend page. And I'm going to enable the Migrate Plus module. Okay. So I enable the Migrate Plus module now. So once you enabled, you need to create a custom module to do your action. So before that, let's create a taxonomy term. I'm going to showcase these plugin features by using the taxonomy term. So I like to create a new taxonomy vocabulary to showcase it. So it's a migration demo showcase. So now we created. Okay, so next what to do? Let's create some content in it. Okay, let's create a term called I'm going to create a term for entity lookup. Okay, so entity lookup will look into the existing term. Okay, let it be there. And next, let's see what are the terms are there. We have only one created. So next, what you have to do, you have to create a custom module. So I already created a custom module with the info file. So this is the info file which I already created. So next, let's create a new file and showcase simple way to migrate your entity reference field. Okay. So for that, migrate term simple way. Okay. So how to migrate your term by simple way? Let me tell you that. This will not contain any plugins like entity generate, entity lookup, or migrate lookup. So this will be giving value. We have to give the value straight. So let's do this. ID, the file name, and label to migrate term in simple way. Okay. So next, label. Next, what we have to do? We have to define the source. So source, I'm going to use embedded data. So I'm not going to create any CSV or anything. If you want, you can create. So I don't want to move one file to another. So since it's important to showcase this feature in deep. So if it is if all the data in the one screen, it will be easy for you to understand. That's why. Okay. So let's go there. I'm going to copy this content and I'm going to use it. Okay. So see here I'm created embedded data and there is some description and all, and there is a parent called parent term is also there. You can link so that it will be hierarchy, and here IDs. So as I already mentioned in the previous video, you need to mention IDs the unique value. Okay. So since we are using entity lookup or entity generate or migration lookup, it's always recommended to use name as a unique, because it is going to look into the term name, right? So always name should be the unique to use all these features efficiently. Okay. So here I mentioned name as a name as a unique value here, but for here you no need to keep name as a unique. You can create one more value as ID. So ID 1, so you can give like that too. That will not make issue in this simple way to migrate your terms. But when you use any plugins like Migrate, Lookup, Entity Generate, you have to use name as a unique. Okay. And then next process. So process also, since we created code line by line in the previous video, I am just going to copy paste all the data which is already I have backup, so that we can showcase the feature efficiently. If you want to understand line by line, you can check the previous video. I will add it in the description. So you can check it and you can understand the line, each line of code one by one. Okay. So name, description and parent. So parent, I'm not going to use any ID. So what I'm going to use then? I'm going to use the term ID. So term ID is 1, right? So I'm going to use 1. So it will not be 1, it will be parent. So 1 I am going to mention in here. Okay, 1. Okay, that's it. And next, we have to mention the vocabulary ID, right? So vocabulary ID is which we created. Okay. So the vocabulary ID is, this is migration demo showcase. So I am going to copy paste the default value for migration vocabulary ID, and then the final is destination. So destination represents the destination of your entity. So it's going to save on which entity. So that is called destination. So I'm going to save all this data will be processed and getting saved in your taxonomy too. So I'm going to mention it. Okay, that's it. So now we successfully created our migration file to import your term in simple way. So let's save it and go to your Drush. So always when you do changes, you have to clear a cache. So clearing the cache. So now we cleared the cache and I'm going to copy this ID and I'm going to run it. Drush migrate import of this text which we copied. So enter. So it's saying the ID is not available. It's there. Okay, we didn't enable the module now, so it will not work. So it's encounters error. Okay, I think the drush is missing. So drush here. Yeah, drush is missing. So let's fix this issue. Composer require drush/drush. So this is done. Let's go to extend page and enable that module. So the module name is migration demo something, I think. migration feature, sorry. Okay. So migration feature. So this is the module. So in this module, I have to showcase the dependency. So here I am using the contrib module migrate plus as a dependency and core migrate module as a dependency. So I'm going to enable it. So migrate module is providing the structure to do your migration. Okay, this is the base, and Migrate Plus is providing lot of features. In this video, I am going to showcase only the entity generate and entity lookup. Okay, in upcoming video, I will showcase all the feature coming which is given by the Migrate Plus. Okay, so now the Migrate feature module is enabled. Now let's go to command prompt and import it. So now it three created successfully. Let's load here. So now you can see the two terms are created and third one is child to the first one, right? So as we mentioned in your YML file. Sorry. As like here, the parent should be 1. So first one will be parent for the work 3. So for work 3, first one will be the parent. Okay. So I hope you people understand how to migrate your taxonomy term in simple way. So when you are aware of term ID, you can use it this way. But when you are not aware of term ID, but you are aware of the name, or if you want to do it by another migration, or if you want to do by creating the migration entity on the fly, I will tell you those. So let's roll back it so that we will not get confused. So drush migrate input roll back. So now we roll back all our entities. So now I'm going to explain about migrate uh, lookup. Okay, migrate lookup. So what is migrate lookup? As I already mentioned, our migration, when you create a entity by using one migration, when you create node, when the node has entity reference of term, the term field alone will look into the another migration. Okay, that is how we can use this migrate term. But here I am going to use in both place I am going to use only the terms, since we have parent term feature in the taxonomy vocabulary. So I'm going to showcase only on the taxonomy vocabulary. I'm not going to link this with any nodes. Okay. So here I already created a content. So here what I'm saying is that I will tell you what is happening here. So first ID and migrating term label and embed data as like previous migration I added, and text name description also added, and migration lookup migrate term and parent. So we are going to look into the parent. So here the migrate term and migrate lookup and parent, we have all these three, right? So I will explain this. So here for parent field, I am saying go and look into another migration. So in next line, which migration it has to look? It has to look into the migrate term. Here it is going to look into the same term, and source will be the parent. When you say source will be the parent, the source value will be passed as vocabulary 1 from here. Okay. So the vocabulary 1 will be passed to this term again, and it will search the unique key. So name contains the unique key, so it will find which entity name has this unique source vocabulary 1. If the vocabulary 1 entity is already created, it will link that to this parent. So it will be parent to this vocabulary 3. Since first two in term we don't have parent, the vocabulary 1 will be linked only with the vocabulary 3. So and next we have mentioned vocabulary ID and destinations. Okay, and this is how the migration lookup is working, and default value is wrong, right? We have to mention the correct value. It's migration demo showcase. Okay, let's import this migration now. So it's brush migrate colon import of this ID, the migration ID. Okay, enter. So you can see 3 created now, right? So let's go to your term page. So let's refresh here and see. So here you can see the third one is linked to the first as we mentioned in the migration lookup, right? So the parent will be passed as vocabulary 1 source to this migration. So it will search by using this name key, it will search the vocabulary 1. And if the term is already there, that will be linked to the parent for the third vocabulary. Okay, so that is how the migration lookup is working. Next is what? Next is entity lookup, right? Entity. So for that, as like before, I'm going to roll back the old one so that we can understand it deeply. Okay, so I am roll back it. So ID is entity lookup and description. Sorry, it's name, right? No, label. Okay, label entity lookup and next source. So let's copy as like before. Okay, source and process. So for process, name and description all will be the same till parent. So name will be the name, description will be the description, and parent will be the parent. And next is parent. For parent, I'm going to use the plugin which is coming from the Migrate Plus, that is entity lookup. Okay, entity lookup, and I'm going to say the source as parent. So source will be the parent key from here. So parent, and next we have to mention a value key. So it is going to search on the name field. Okay, the vocabulary 1 is going to search on the name field. Okay, that is a value key. And bundle, what is the key value for the bundle? If you use node, it will be type. If you use vocabulary, it will be vid. And the bundle name is, and next one is bundle. You have to mention the bundle name. I'm going to copy the bundle from here and paste it here. And next, what it is going to save in which entity type. If it is node or taxonomy term, you have to mention. So taxonomy term. And next is operator. So I will explain this operator. So you have to think like when you do the DB query, how the operator is working, the same way the operator will work. So here I'm going to use equal operator. And next VID. So VID we can copy from here. VID and destination, it will be same like this. Okay. And I'm going to save it. So now we saved it. So I'm going to run this command. So drush cr. So drush migrate colon import and going to paste this command and enter. And 3 entities are created. So let's go and refresh now. Okay, I didn't reload it, right? So let's roll back and show you again. So now all the entities went right. So let's import. So now you can see vocabulary 1 is linked to vocabulary 3 and vocabulary 2 is alone. So we can do it by this way also. So let 2 be the parent to 3. Okay. So first roll back it. And now we roll back. And next what I'm going to do, I'm going to clear the cache since we made change in this YAML. And I'm going to run the import again. It's entity lookup. So now you can see. So 3 is parent to C. Sorry, 2 is parent to 3. Okay. And this is how the entity lookup is working. So I'm going to roll back it. So we roll back completely. And next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain about entity generate. Okay. So entity generate also as like the same. So for that, I'm going to create a entity underscore generate dot YML. So let's copy same lookup code. So generated is the extended feature of the lookup, I can say. So which means we have to pass all the data, whatever you are passing for the entity lookup. So we need to add extra one field for this entity generate. That's why I'm saying it's extended feature. Okay. So it's entity generate. Embedded data, vocabulary, string, same. So here it will be entity generate. So entity generate and source is parent, and value key also you have to pass, bundle key also you have to pass, bundle as like all you have to pass, and operator is not required because we are not going to search something, we are going to create new one. In entity lookup we are searching our vocabulary too in the existing entity, that's why we used operator there. So here operator is not required. Instead of that you have to pass a default value for the description. Okay, so description, okay, for your new entity. Okay, sorry. Okay, so for your new entity which is going to create newly, so for that you have to use this. You can use constant variable for this, or you can do any customization. And I think that's it. We covered all. So now there is no terms, right? So let's go here and clear the cache. So now cache is clearing. So we clear the cache and I'm going to import entity generate. Sorry, it's import entity generate. Okay. Sorry. Before that, we didn't see vocabulary 2 is already there. No, we are going to create a new vocabulary, means you have to mention the new name. So this is already not created. So it will be created on the fly. Okay. Let's run this command generate. Okay. So 3 created successfully. Let's load and see. So see, you can see the new vocabulary is created, right? So let's edit, new term is created and description is also added as we mentioned in the default value of the description. Okay. So these are the 4 ways you can do migration for your entity reference field. Okay. One is entity simple way by passing your term ID, or a migration lookup, entity generate, or entity lookup. Okay. And you need to enable the migration plus module. Migration plus module has lot of extended feature. So I will explain those in the upcoming videos. So that's it about today's video, and I hope everyone likes it. If you like the video, please share, like, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.